Ndiri murimi anorima mbeu, mapfunde nerukwese. Zvinowa mbeu dzedu dzatakagara tinadzo kubvira kare nevakuru vedu. Apa tadzoswa kudzipinda madzirizve nekuda kwokuti nzara.
Small grains such as sorghum, pearl millet, and finger millet have remained part of African food systems for generations. However, maize has increasingly become a staple food for most countries, and Zimbabwe is no exception, even in climatic regions that are more suitable for small grains. This trend is worrisome considering small grains satisfy social, cultural, nutritional, and economic needs of local people, more so with current unpredictable rainfall trends.
Isikubva tichikura vanasekuru vedu vaka vachingova varimi verikwisa. Taiona vachingorima vakabatana pamwe chete nana mbuya. Vachibage vaingorima chishoma shoma nekuti vaingoda kungoti kazhinji vakadya chiri chinyoro nekuti chikafu sadza raingova rezviyo kana kuti remhunga.
Ngilima i-cowpeas, amabele, amazambane, konke lokho ngokutshengisela ukubana umkhathi nxa kuyikuthi nana izulu kalikho kuyangincedisa njalo kusidi yami engiyabe ngiyilimile emasimini.
Uyene nzvimbo yedu ine manje nomwaka wacho nomwaka mupfupi atinorima kunoku ndokudzira kuti mhunga masiya nezviyo izvi zvinotibasana nyangwe mvura ikaita shoma tinotowana kugore rinenge rinoyambusa mhuri dzedu pakurarama.
So loku lama varieties enyauti lamabele sidinga lawana ama varieties aphangisa ukuvuthwa okuthi ukuthi noma izulu lililutshwana siyakwanisa ukuvuna.
With farming as a business becoming a rallying cry for sustaining agricultural systems, small grains have taken too long to become commercially viable and enable sustainable livelihoods. That is why value chain actors have started to aggressively consider ways to commercialize small grains. However, it is still not easy to get a coherent narrative on what is limiting commercialization. Farmers cite lack of effective and reliable markets, while some value chain actors mention inconsistent supply of small grains.
Dambudziko ratiri kusangana naro zvino nokuwanda kwaita vanhu vari kurima rikweza ndipo kutengesera. Kuti tichiwana manje kuti titengese nekuti nzara chaiyo tinoona kuti nzara yakatodzingwa nenyaya yekurima rikweza.
Saka noku GMB mari atenge tichipiwa mari shoma shoma, saka atenge tichichemerawo kuti dai tichiwanawo mari ikaita se ikatikuririrewo kuitira kuti tione kuti tingatengewo wana wachienda kuchikoro tichitengawo chikafu nowana paumba.
Tikarima unonzi enda kumashops unosiwa pabhagidhi rako, kukandosiwa pabhagidhi richandiendesera mwana kuchikoro here.
The market for small grains is there, but it has not been properly cultivated and also been properly supported by the supply of good quality grain going into the value addition process.
The government has also helped in the uptake of small grains. It has now put the price of maize, a ton of maize and a ton of small grains at the same price.
I think government has been trying to also encourage the production of small grains, especially in the drier regions of the country. Private sector, I think we have some that are interested in small grains, particularly for the beverage industry. We also have got some that are beginning to find use of small grains for animal feed production. But we are also beginning to see an increase in demand for meal from the small grains. Some of the shops now are beginning to stock some of these products. Of course, I think one of the challenges so far has been the price for meal from sorghum as well as meal from pearl millet. So I think that sort of constrains the demand, especially from the average consumer.
We also need to get our much larger manufacturers to consider some of the small grains, the resources that are available, and perhaps input them into our biscuits and other products so that in fact you create a market for them. As you create a market and as you get bigger players who are using these small grains, they will be much more interested in funding the grower and investing in research and other areas.
In order to address ways to commercialize small grains, there is a need to start with addressing some production challenges facing farmers because productivity has generally remained low. This has mostly been attributed to low use of high-yielding seed and fertilizers. Meanwhile, farmers cite high fertilizer cost and lack of access to better seed varieties.
Seed yedu tineiwana munozvatinge tarima izvozvo ndo matinosarudza futi seed yedu imomo todyara futi kudzokeredza futi tongoramba tichingodaro chete.
What we see as challenges there among smallholder farmers is that they've been recycling seeds, they've been recycling their planting materials for a very long time. And as a result, the yields have been coming down.
We have had some varieties, improved varieties of small grain seed, but farmers have been reluctant to buy those. And we also have not been able to get companies, uptake in terms of companies who want to market improved varieties. Most of the improved varieties are government varieties, and as government we cannot market the seed which would have bred. We have to depend on companies to market that for us.
Another challenge that has been cited is the labor-intensive nature of harvesting and processing small grains, the burden of which is mostly borne by women. Inefficiencies surrounding the manual processing compromises the quality of the processed grains with negative implications at the marketing stage. Additional production challenges are predators such as quelea birds, which consume a lot of the crop while on the field.
Matambudziko atinosangana nawo kana tarima mapfunde nerukweza inyaya dzekuzoti taakuswa paya zvinotinetsa. Taikumbira kuti kana kune zvigayowo mishina inotigaisira inotikuruzirawo kuti mbeu dzedu dzisanyanya kutirwadza sekunge nyama dzamazuva ano munongoziva kuti ikaita basa rinorema kuvata hameno mangwana humuki.
Pakupura apa tinenge tichingorova nezvimiti, takura nezvimiti. Dzimwe dzenguva tinogona kusanganisana kuti tinogona kutsemura here, kutsemura mbeu dzedu dziya. Saka tinezopedzisa takarowa zvasara zvimakoto zviya tinesa muduri todhura futi nemitsi. Tinyasaona kuti mbeu dzedu dzinyatsoita zvakanaka.
Small grains as labor, especially in terms of women, because women are the most vulnerable if we are talking of field work. Starting from weeding, going from chasing of these quelea birds, threshing, it's a labor to women and even the girl child. Men, they don't do that.
As if to prove that opportunities are often hidden in challenges, enterprising value chain actors have begun to see and exploit opportunities presented by small grains. The commercial opportunity provided by small grains is an important aspect, particularly in rural communities. Income obtained from the sale of small grains and small grains products provides livelihoods which enable access to education, health, and other essential services.
We've been working with sorghum and millet, and another one popularly known as amaranth, or locally known as moa seed or bonongwe seed. So with the sorghum and millet, we've developed a porridge. So this porridge is a combination of those small grains, baobab fruit powder, and the legumes, groundnuts. And we've developed this porridge as an instant porridge. So there are two of these formulations. The other one is for a school feeding program, which will be given to the kids. And then another one is a commercial porridge, which will be supplied to supermarkets.
Nokuti ikwane vana yefomu yekuma secondary totobika rutatu kuti ikwane mari yacho.
What I like about small grains is that normally the cost structure is low as compared to other crops. Why? Because they require less fertilization, the seed cost is low, and also the chemical cost is always low.
Small grains also have superior nutritional benefits to promote health and well-being in communities. Inclusion of small grains in daily diets is also critical for the maintenance of good health and the prevention of chronic illnesses, the treatment of which presents a significant cost for the country. In recognition of this, several schools, hospitals, and nutrition experts have begun to incorporate and promote small grains as an essential component of the daily diet.
Sorghum and the other small grains are very rich in terms of nutrient components like your minerals like zinc, iron, magnesium, calcium, which are very important for the diets for human beings. And also the carbohydrates in these small grains are very difficult to break, which makes them very suitable for those people who want to manage weight, for those people who are conscious about health eating.
Most hospitals, if you go to Mpilo Hospital, you go to Parenyatwa Hospital, we have had some talks with the dietitians. They are now recommending small grains because they are nutritious for their patients.
Harina mamwe ma-chemicals harimo kwamwa hofu muchirwadziwa ido rakanaka hari kuzvirwere.
Through government programs where we are focusing and mobilizing around the issue of diversity in diets, we are addressing those issues and saying that some of these grains are much healthier, but not just for those people who are sick, but generally for the population.
The impact of small grain production on soil fertility has been observed as critical for sustainable agriculture. Small grains have a fibrous root system and high carbon plant residues which improve soil health and increase water holding capacity. This makes small grains important in improving soil conditions for production of other crops through crop rotation and intercultivation.
Small grains, especially on the legume side, for example, sugar bean, cowpea, they can be used as a rotation component, and they are quite beneficial in terms of residual nitrogen to the next crop.
Small grains are in nature, especially if you want to look at sorghum, for example, the way it is as a crop, the rooting structure is very deep, which makes it very suitable for tough conditions where drought and heat are prevalent.
Also, they are quite useful in terms of another farming technique which is called intercropping. They can be grown at the same time with some cereal crops, for example, maize. They can be grown under maize, and they function to wither weeds, to smoother weeds actually. They suppress weeds to the benefit of the main crop, which is the cereal.
Small grains form an important component of enhancing sustainable food security in Zimbabwe. Unpredictable rainfall patterns have made over-dependence on maize a risky endeavor due to the crop's dismal performance in low rain conditions. Promoting small grains production potentially saves the lives of millions residing particularly in drought-prone areas and makes immense contribution to food security and health.
We should not think of food security and think maize only. We should think food security in Zimbabwe, think about the whole crop range, including small grains, including sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet. In fact, they are more nutritious.
If only we want to eradicate the drought, the best way is to produce small grains, because we can't go wrong with small grains. We can fail to produce for sale, but not for consumption.
What is becoming clear is that a collaborative approach is necessary in commercializing small grains. Farmers will not be able to do that on their own. The partnership of development organizations, government departments, and the private sector in strengthening the value chain is therefore critical.
Our work has been to try to encourage farmers to diversify. Those that are still converted to their maize, we don't stand in the way, but we encourage them to introduce one or two of the cereal, small grains, and one or two of the legumes, small grains, to increase their chances of getting a harvest, especially now with climate change.
We've been working in 3 districts, Chirezi, Chimanimani, and Buhera. And these are districts that lie in agro-ecological region 5 in most parts of those particular districts. So these districts, they experience low rainfall, and also they've got a lot of other challenges related to agricultural production. And so what we have been trying to do is to assist smallholder farmers to diversify their crop mix so that they use crop types and crop varieties that are better adapted to drought as well as climatic stress in general. And our experience really has been that just because of the failure of maize in most of these districts, quite a number of farmers are actually adopting small grains, particularly sorghum, as well as even pearl millet. We're seeing quite an increase in the uptake of those particular varieties.
Project yokurima rekwesa rapoko saka ndingati kazhinji kacho tichitanga project takatanga naDr. Muchineripi. Dr. Muchineripi ndiye vakaona kuti zvakakodzera kuti vanhu varime zvinhu zvatairima kare zvavabereki vedu ndizvo zvinogona kutidzingira nzara mudunhu redu.
So kwasikutholakala ukuthi amafamazi ejambezi ayaphakamela phezulu yikho sazisathuliswa i-warehouse le ndawonye lezigayo. So siyaprocessa impuphu eyamabele lenyawuthi okwakathesi besisayithengisela nje local because i-registration kasika-register siphezulu kokuthi si-register ukuze sithengise kuhle kuma-supermarkets. Okwakathesi babe sithi asilancwadi kodwa siyathengisa nje impuphu yethu kuma-local shops lakwezinye izindawo eziphekwayo.
Like any other important national initiative, commercialization of small grains can only succeed when underpinned by an enabling policy framework.
My view is that the government, the Ministry of Agriculture, can spend a little bit more time on small grains research, small grains production, and the linkages. Private sector, those that utilize sorghums, pearl millet, and finger millet, in beer brewing, for example, can invest a few thousands of dollars to support research.
The other policy issue that may need addressing is farmers are saying we can produce small grains, but we don't consume, our kids don't want to consume the small grains. If there could be an exchange program where if a farmer concentrates on pearl millet and he wants to exchange pearl millet for maize grain, they can easily do so at a simple one-on-one proportion at GMP, so that at the end of the day we use the land to produce what it is capable of producing, and then what we produce then we can exchange for the grain that we need for home consumption. That way we would not have as many crop failures as we are witnessing as we go forward.
When we've got support programs from government, at times you find that people that are in marginal areas that are supposed to be producing small grains, they tend to get a seed pack or input pack that includes maize. And so in a way, you'll be kind of encouraging people to produce maize instead of some of these small grains. So some of those areas, they require policy attention to say if someone is in agro-ecological region 5, their crop mix has to include small grains. And I think that needs to be a deliberate policy position.
Among the organizations that are passionate about using evidence to show the role of small grains and other silent commodities in African food systems is Knowledge Transfer Africa, better known as MCAMBO.
As MCAMBO or Knowledge Transfer Africa, our passion is working with farmers and traders who are moving a lot of food in Zimbabwe, especially informal traders who are into small grains, who are into horticulture and all kinds of food. These people have been in the market for a long time. They have sent their children to school using the markets. And mostly policymakers need to understand how they work. For the policymakers to understand that, we need to gather evidence, which is what we do on a daily basis. We gather evidence of where commodities are coming from, their varieties, who is bringing them. And we also have an interest in gender. We want to know how many women are participating in markets, as well as how many youth are participating in markets. That is why evidence becomes very important. Without evidence, it's very difficult to influence policymakers and development partners, some of whom need to fund agriculture. Rather than funding individual commodities, they need to fund a nutrition basket, which includes small grains, tubers, legumes, and even animal nutrition. All that requires evidence, which is what we do on a daily basis, gathering evidence.